Well, joining us for more on this South Leaders Decision is Niger Delta human rights advocate Annkio Briggs. Annkio, glad to have you join us on Newsday.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Fantastic. I particularly listened to you during this meeting, and your major issue was that of restructuring. It's looking like restructuring for you and those that tout restructuring is one panacea for Nigeria's challenges. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I don't know that whether anybody else sees it like that or not, but the reality is that we do have to restructure Nigeria. We have stayed with this 1999 constitution, and even before then, the unjust ways that the policies are set up and we are governed is most unfair to the Niger Delta region. And therefore, it seems that the only way out for us anyway would be the call for restructuring. Any discussions that has been held in the past have always been about the call for restructuring, because a restructured Nigeria will answer critical questions, the questions that are burning for justice and equity, revenue sharing, revenue allocation, the issue of decentralizing the federal government, the powers of the federal government, and bringing it back to the people, where governance can actually be effective at the level that governance is supposed to be effective, not just only for the South, but for all areas. Look at today, Zamfara is mining gold, and somehow it's almost being swept to the side. It's no longer an issue. You know, we must make it an issue, and this is why the call for restructuring has to be heeded too, because there just does not seem to be any other answer to the discussion of a united Nigeria, because everybody says, oh, united Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria cannot be discussed, and no, it has to be discussed, and it has to be answered on whose terms and to whose advantage. It has to be to the advantage of everybody. And so restructuring, I believe strongly, will be the answer to the call that we make.
Absolutely, Mrs. Briggs. It has to be something for everybody. I'd like us to break down a few things that Governor Annkio mentioned in his statements on behalf of the governors of the South region, because he said that they renew their demands for the relocation of the headquarters of major oil companies in Nigeria to the region, and also the relocation of several NNPC subsidiaries from Lagos and Abuja to the region. Mrs. Briggs, I'd like us to speak about what failure to do this over the years has led to. Can you help us to paint a picture here?
Well, for instance, there are taxes that are being collected by Lagos State and now by Abuja, because Abuja is now the capital. But still, the oil companies are operating in Lagos State and in Abuja. Now, if you bear in mind the type of taxes that is internally generated through the works and the workers that are attached to the oil companies that are in Abuja and in Lagos. I mean, I hope that begins to paint the picture for you. And then the jobs that come with the oil companies being in any place, whether it be Lagos, Abuja, but we will prefer it to be in the Niger Delta, of course, because it's fair. I mean, the raw material that is keeping the oil companies in Nigeria is in the Niger Delta, and so the benefits, which would be the jobs that these oil companies create, not just in the sciences of drilling for oil and gas, but definitely in the jobs that are created and the opportunities of development, both human development and infrastructural development. that comes with the oil companies. It's not in the Niger Delta, it's in Lagos and it's in Abuja. So this is the cost, apart from the environmental devastation and the devastation to our rights to feed ourselves and be employed. Apart from those, the environmental devastation is huge and is unbearable and is unacceptable. So now, when you say what that is on the negative side of what it is not given to us. Now, how long will we continue to demand that the headquarters be relocated into the Niger Delta region so that these things can come to be in our domain? How will we achieve that? Well, it's entirely up to the government, because don't forget, Nigeria is a 60% shareholder in a joint venture with the oil companies. So how we go about that depends primarily, I believe, on my people in the region and the owners of the oil, that is the states that this oil are domiciled in. And then, of course, the Nigerian federal government and the oil companies, if they are actually...
All right, we will be back shortly after this timeout. Stay with us.
Still on the matter of how the South-South leaders can better utilize their resources, let's take a look at what the former president of the Ijaw Youth Council, that's Odingsi Radiri, had to say.
Over 30 years, people, generals and all kinds of people have been mining gold in Zamfara until a governor decided that this gold, we will use it to build financial strength of the state. Our Niger Delta governors, I keep asking them a simple question. Did Buhari stop any of them from setting up their own oil company? For instance, a Bayelsa oil company that will be doing logistics, that will be doing storage, that will be doing filling stations. Did Buhari stop them? The law did not stop them.
Well, let's bring in Mrs. Annkio Briggs back in on this topic. Unfortunately, we did lose connection earlier. Mrs. Briggs, it's great to have you back with us. Let's get your reaction to what Odingsi Radiri just had to say, and I quote, he said, did Buhari stop any of them from setting up their own oil company, obviously with regards to South-South leaders? What's your take?
Well, I mean, we're not making it sound as if the problem of the injustice that we're talking about in Nigeria against the Niger Delta region, we're not saying that it started with this government. We're saying that it is an existing problem. Now, has Buhari compounded it by his governance? Yes, he has. Now, going to Odingsi, I hope, must have looked at the laws and must have come to the conclusion that the laws of in the Constitution would have actually allowed the governors to have their own refineries, to set up their own oil companies, as he's saying. I don't know, and so I will not be able to comment on that. But I would like to put this to say this, that if truly we can do these things, then there would be no reason to call to say that the modular refining that is going on in the Niger Delta today is illegal. So by Odingsi's calculation, the modular refining is not illegal. That is what he's saying, because if the governors are not doing it, then definitely the youths in the Niger Delta are actually refining oil, but they are being told that it is illegal. So that is Odingsi's argument, and he's entitled to it. What we're saying is that we want 100% resource ownership, control, and management. We're not talking about owning refineries. We're talking about owning, controlling, and managing the resources that is in our land.
Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Annkio Briggs, Niger Delta activist, for your interesting contributions on news.